In the lush valleys of Valle de la Luna, a small Venezuelan village nestled beneath the Andes Mountains, there lived two sisters, Luciana and Esperanza. Their parents, Don Pablo and Doña Marta, had passed away when the girls were young, leaving them to fend for themselves. Despite their shared hardships, the sisters were as different as night and day. Luciana, the elder sister, was strikingly beautiful, with long raven hair and emerald green eyes. However, her heart was filled with envy, greed, and bitterness. She believed her beauty alone should bring her wealth and admiration. Esperanza, on the other hand, was plain in appearance, but had a heart as golden as the sunlight that bathed their valley. She was beloved by the villagers for her kindness and her gift of singing melodies so sweet they could heal a broken spirit. One day, a mysterious man named Don Santiago arrived in Valle de la Luna. He was a wealthy merchant traveling through the region with promises of grand riches and exotic treasures. The villagers marveled at his charm and elegance, and both Luciana and Esperanza caught his eye. Luciana was determined to make Don Santiago hers. "With my beauty, he will surely choose me," she thought. She dressed in her finest clothes and adorned herself with the little jewelry they had left from their mother. She approached Don Santiago with honeyed words and flirtatious glances, but the merchant, though polite, seemed distracted. Don Santiago, it turned out, was captivated by Esperanza's voice. He first heard her singing while she worked in the fields, her melodies drifting on the wind like an enchanting spell. When he approached her, he was struck not only by her voice, but also by her humility and warmth. Luciana was furious. How could someone as plain as Esperanza outshine her? That night, she confronted her sister. "You've bewitched him with your silly songs," Luciana spat, her jealousy pouring out like venom. Esperanza, taken aback, replied gently, "Sister, I seek no riches or marriage. My only wish is for us to be happy together." But Luciana's envy had grown too deep. She could not stand the thought of her sister being chosen over her. That night, under the pale light of the moon, she made a dark decision. Luciana sought out the village curandera, an old woman named Doña Amalia, who was known for her knowledge of herbs and ancient spells. Whispering her intentions, Luciana begged for a potion that would rid her of her sister's enchanting voice. Doña Amalia, sensing the darkness in Luciana's heart, warned her, "The spirits of this land do not take kindly to envy. If you harm your sister, the mountains themselves will hold you accountable." But Luciana was too blinded by jealousy to heed the warning. She promised Amalia a hefty payment and left with a small vial of a silvery potion. The next morning, Luciana offered Esperanza a cup of tea, pretending to make amends. Unaware of her sister's treachery, Esperanza drank it, and, within moments, her voice began to fade. She clutched her throat, trying to sing, but no sound came out. Tears welled in her eyes as she looked at her sister, who stood smirking. "Now we'll see who Don Santiago chooses," Luciana said, coldly. Esperanza, heartbroken and voiceless, withdrew to the outskirts of the village, avoiding everyone, including Don Santiago. Luciana thought she had won, but the spirits of the valley had seen everything. That night, as Luciana admired herself in the mirror, she noticed something strange. Her reflection began to change. Her radiant face twisted into something grotesque, her beauty vanishing before her eyes. Panicked, she ran to the river to see her reflection in the water, but the image was the same. Her once lovely face now looked cruel and aged, with hollow eyes and cracked skin. She screamed in despair, but the echo of her cries awakened the spirits of the valley. A strong wind swept through Valle de la Luna, carrying whispers that grew louder and louder. Luciana begged for forgiveness, but the spirits had no mercy. Meanwhile, Esperanza, though heartbroken, continued to live simply, helping the villagers in silence. One day, While tending to a sick child, she heard a faint melody in her dreams. It was the song of her late mother, calling her to the ancient Cueva de la Luz, a sacred cave hidden in the mountains. Guided by the dream, Esperanza made the journey alone. Inside the cave, she found a pool of crystal-clear water. As she touched the water, her voice returned, more beautiful and powerful than ever. The spirits of the valley appeared before her, thanking her for her kindness and purity of heart. "You have shown resilience and grace," they said. "Your voice will now heal not only the soul, but also the land." When Esperanza returned to the village, the crops flourished, and the rivers ran clearer than ever. Don Santiago, who had never stopped searching for her, confessed his love, and they were soon married. As for Luciana, she fled Valle de la Luna, ashamed of her appearance and consumed by her guilt. Legends say she wandered the wilderness, her beauty stolen by the spirits as punishment for her wickedness. To this day, the villagers of Valle de la Luna tell the tale of the wicked sister, a cautionary story of envy and the enduring power of kindness and humility.